we ended up in the Tulsa County Emergency Shelter. Being in the shelter was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. We're not bad people. We just ended up in a bad way. I felt so sorry taking my kids at night, knowing that they were there, sleeping on army cots. So, I can't tell you how nice it was to walk into a room that was furnished by people that genuinely loved other people and wanted to help. Made us feel loved. Catholic Charities made us feel loved.
It's not just help right then. The things that you learn there in the program that you work there, it's for the future too. You take it with you and continue on through life with it. It's so awesome.
Catholic Charities is not a quick fix. It's an immersion into the whole person of Christ and God's love reaching out to them. And when we've had that profound encounter in our life, it changes us at the deepest level of who we are.
There's that dimension of spirituality that heals people and gives people courage.
You know, in just a turn of events, you know, in just a matter of a few days, somebody's life can be turned upside down, just the average individual.
A lot of people just want a handout, and that's not what we wanted. We just needed time to gather up what we needed to get back on our feet.
You watch the evening news, you see all these things happening, and you think, you know, somebody's got to do something about this. God, why does God let this happen? Well, you know, God made you. God made the Catholic people. He made you so that you could go out and do something about it.
What people don't realize about Catholic Charities is the vast amount of good that it does. Catholic Charities helped emergency victims from Katrina. Catholic Charities helps people that are dying of AIDS. Catholic Charities helps pregnant mothers that are unable to care for themselves. Catholic Charities helps people get back on their feet that are down and out. Catholic Charities helps people that need immigration services, legal immigration services. Catholic Charities helps with adoption. I don't think a lot of people know about that.
I was only 16 when I found out I was pregnant. I had no idea what I was going to do. So we went to Catholic Charities, and we just kind of knew that that was the right decision to do an adoption.
You have that aspect of the adoption, but then you also, it brings in how I was raised, it brings in my faith, and it brings in my beliefs as well.
I just asked God to give me answers. That's all I needed in order to help make that decision.
God has a plan for us all. I mean, and I would have never thought 8.5 years ago, before we met our birth mother, I mean, you want to talk about being kind of down in the dumps, and we were suffering, and we didn't know, you know, what our next step was going to be. And then, wow, out of the blue, we get a call, and the next thing you know, we're meeting, and, you know, the birth, and then starting kindergarten and making First Communion, and, you know, and then truly the years just fly by. But it's been a wonderful, and it's very enlightening and experience for, I think, that everybody that's been involved.
I thank God pretty much every day to have this open adoption.
The annual appeal helps us to go out and buy food from the food bank to supplement what the people give to us in our food collections. It helps us pay for our staff, who are very well trained and very knowledgeable and able to serve the poor and help coordinate the volunteers. It helps pay for the light bulbs and gives heat at Madonna House at the wintertime, and does all those things that are necessary for an organization to run and be professional in our services. And it makes up well over half our budget.
I can't think of another organization that does more good, that gives you, if you will, more bang for the buck than Catholic Charities.
During this time when the economy goes down, the need goes up.
When times are bad, they're bad for everybody. If we're having trouble making contributions, think about the people that have nothing. It's a lot worse for them. We always have more.
You know, there's nothing wrong with giving a lesser amount than you gave the year before. The important thing is that everyone should do something.
God calls us to serve, not out of our excess, not out of what's left over. He really wants us to help people by making a sacrifice. And that even makes it, I think, an even greater gift.
Give a man a fish and he can eat for a day and teach them to fish and eat for a lifetime. Well, there is some similarity to that expression in what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is to help people have the dignity and the tools, if you will, to become functioning members of society. And that's what Catholic Charities does.
One of the most important aspects of Catholic Charities is reaching out to people spiritually, so that that deepest hunger that they experience in their poverty is met, which is the encounter with Christ, who is ultimately our life and our purpose and our meaning.